Do you like my tie?
Welcome to Dragonpiece Theater, the show that asks, how was Timothy Leary, and why did he stop happening? I'm your host, Dragon Connery.
Don't forget about me.
Still here? Behave and you won't get eaten.
You would meet your co-host, would you?
Only one way to find out.
Here's our stars of stage and screen. See what I did there?
Yes, you made a joke. Very nice. Keep reading.
Our stars of stage and screen, a lady and some pirate, unwittingly presenting the 1933 Majestic Pictures horror film, The Vampire Bat.
Now on my signal, wait for it this time, will you? On my signal, cut. Hey, what are you doing here?
Just catching up on some dirt they dug up on my mummy. But I just read a lot of people are worried keeping the Large Hadron Collider on all the time is going to open up a bunch of alternate realities.
I mean, what are you doing here?
Well, now that I'm done reading, I was going to watch an old movie I've never seen before. In my living room.
This is just the brick-a-me shit. You left some tapestries and an old TV set down in here.
And now it's my living room.
Full of rats is what it is.
What's wrong with rats?
Yeah!
I don't know. I haven't watched this movie either. No, hush, or I'll eat you.
Why are the bats hanging upside down at night?
I don't know. Sure is scary, though.
Ugh.
But how else can we explain these terrible deaths? Von Eltz last night, 5 others before him, that's 6 within as many weeks, Inspector. Our friends, neighbors that we'd known for years, drained of their life's blood, found dead in bed, lifeless skeletons of skin and bone. Vampires are at large, I tell you, vampires.
Malignant demons who issue forth from their graves in the dead of night to attack their victims and drink the blood from their veins.
Gotten him of Red Schneider, don't jest.
Ah, that blood-sucking legend belongs in the same category with werewolves and all other peasant superstitions.
But the bats, man. The bats. God, yes. Big ones, so.
Oh, now we're switching to bats again.
There was an epidemic of giant bats in Klein Schloss in 1643. And at the same time, there was an outbreak of vampirism.
Rot.
Why, this record from the town archive proves it.
Says it, not proves it.
Well, I'll show you. I'll show you. Now, here it is. And on this day was von Hausmann hanged from a gibbet in the public square after being convicted on a proven charge of vampirism. And on this same day, there did occur the departure of the bats. Thousands of horrible flying creatures which infested the town for weeks. And on the night of this same day, February 13, in the year of our Lord, 1643, was there a stake driven through von Hausmann's heart and his head cut off with a grave digger's shovel. There.
Well, all the records in the world can't make me believe in vampires. There are blood-sucking bats, yes. In South America, thousands of miles from here, but not in Kleinschloss.
But bats fly. They could fly here. You saw the bodies. All of them. 2 wounds on the neck, right at the jugular vein. 2 wounds on the neck, pierced and spread apart just as if 2 fang-like teeth had bitten through the flesh and right into the veins. And in every case, a blood clot, 8 inches from the victim's neck, the mark of the feast, the devil's signature.
Does that appear the mark of a human being or a demon's?
God save us, the devil's.
You ought to make a pretty fair meal for a vampire. But let's be consistent. Are these human vampires or bats?
Vampires can take the shape of a human or a bat, just as they choose.
Oh, they're magicians. Well, it doesn't make sense to me.
The whole village is in terror. We live in closed houses, behind locked doors and bolted shutters, not daring to close our eyes, fearful lest this unseen silent death may find us in our sleep, for it is then that it strikes, swiftly, silently, ghastly.
My room is tightly closed. The windows are barred, nailed down. Nothing can get in. Nothing.
But they tell me vampires can go through stone walls like that.
God save me. So they can. We've got to do something, I tell you. Kleinschloss will become a deserted village.
Well, you might catch all the bats and drown them in the river.
Carl.
While you're hunting for vampires and chasing bats, I'm looking for a human being. A murderer, a fiend.
Well, then don't jest about it. Do something.
I'm trying to. Every hour, every day, every night since this thing started.
Do you hear it? Hear it? Yes. Night after night. Lying awake until dawn. Waiting.
For what?
I don't know.
That's what I thought. Good night, gentlemen. Don't let the vampires get you. Are your kisses dynamite?
Don't you like my kisses? Well, how's my mastermind this evening?
Well, if you want the truth, not so good.
The Burgermeister and his Grand Council still stick to the vampire theory.
Stick to it? Huh. They're quoting history to prove it. I think you and Dr. von Niemann are the only sane people left in the village.
And you? What about you?
Me? Well, I'm beginning to think I'm 7 different kinds of a fool. Murders are being done under my very nose. I must be as blind as the bats themselves.
Bats cannot see you, but they know you're there.
I can't find a single clue.
Oh, but you will, Carl. You will.
Well, I haven't.
All right.
here comes dear Aunt Gussie to spread good cheer and hope.
Just what I thought. Slaving your life away in this awful place. It hasn't got that nice, clean, wholesome smell of a hospital. How are you, Carl?
Oh, quite well, thank you.
Well, I'm not. This clammy old place is bound to give me pericarditis, enterocolitis, neuritis, well, anyway, rheumatism. You have some coffee?
No, thank you, Frau Schnappmann.
No, it's just as well. There's only 2 cups. Yeah. That'll take the chill out of your bones.
Thank you.
Speaking of chills, Frau Schnappmann, did you know the village is supposed to be infested with ghouls and vampires?
Oh, Carl.
Vampires. Pariahs among fiends. Demoniacal creatures with huge canine teeth who bite deeply into the necks of their victims to quaff and gorge on blood. Warm human blood.
There's no such thing as a vampire, Carl Brett Snyder. I don't believe in it. You're just saying that to frighten me. And I just won't be frightened. I'm entirely too sensible to believe in such rubbish.
I beg pardon.
Oh, so it's you.
I'm sorry if I frightened you.
Who said you frightened me? I'm not afraid of anything.
Could you tell me where Dr. von Niemann is?
We drove to the village to see Martha, the old apple woman.
Thank you.
When are they gonna get to the vampire?
Why do you care so much?
I have my reasons. You know, that man Carl did say they were demoniacal pariahs among fiends.
What are you looking at me for?
What if, instead of going to a commercial, we heard a poem? Brown Tiger's Last Stand.
Like from Cats? I love cats. They're delicious.
No, well, sort of. It actually gets cut out of most versions.
Finally, some culture around here.
Growl Tiger was a bravo cat who traveled on a barge. In fact, he was the roughest cat that ever roamed at large. From Gravesend up to Oxford, he pursued his evil aims, rejoicing in his title of the Terror of the Thames. His manner and appearance did not calculate to please. His coat was torn and seedy. He was baggy at the knees. One ear was somewhat missing. No need to tell you why. And he scowled upon a hostile world from one foreboding eye. The cottagers